It's a story more incredible than fiction. Buried treasure, forgotten for more than 1,000 years. Discovered by an amateur metal detecting enthusiast.
What I was seeing on the screen, I couldn't believe it.
The find is worth millions.
We realised that this was the biggest find of the 21st century.
When I first saw the Staffordshire hoard, I think there was a real sense of wonder and fear.
But how did it get here? Who buried it? And why are the pieces broken and mangled? As experts remove the dirt of centuries, they may solve the mystery of the largest collection of Anglo-Saxon gold ever found. The story of the hoard's discovery begins here, in the heart of the industrialized Midlands of England, on a nondescript field in the county of Staffordshire. Surrounded on three sides by busy highways and roads, this 10-acre triangle of grass has been farmland for centuries. At the top of this ridge, someone buried a hoard of gold almost 1,400 years ago. Local metal detecting enthusiast Terry Herbert always thought that the field might be a fertile detecting site.
Well, I've drove past that field, I've gone past it thousands of times. The one day I actually went past the actual field. Well, I thought there was crops on, but apparently it was just grass. And the farmer had decided to cut it. So I thought this is the time to go on to see what there is.
Terry's been metal detecting for decades and knows the signs.
Everywhere around you, there's history beneath your feet. I mean, even in your own back garden. You could end up just finding a ring pull or bottle top, or you could end up finding some gold.
But the art of detecting is not so simple. You have to understand what the machine is telling you.
Well, I brought it in Birmingham nearly 15 years ago. It was an ex-demo, but it was sold as brand new, and I paid £500 for it. It's different pitches, what it's telling me. And when you're searching, you actually get used to the higher the pitch is preferably getting on towards silver coins. And if it's a growling noise, that's usually iron, and you don't usually dig that.
Terry's customized his machine so that he can audibly tell the difference between a rusty nail, a silver coin, and a piece of gold. Farmer Fred Johnson has lived here all his life. Like his father before him, he's worked the land, growing just about every crop imaginable. Fred guesses he must have plowed the field dozens of times over decades and must have driven over the hoard each time.
When you think it's been buried here, say, 1,300 years, and I wonder how many men have had their feet within a few inches of it without knowing and walk on top of that gold.
Before Terry began detecting the field, he asked Farmer Fred for permission.
He said he'd like to come on metal detecting. I said, oh, it's a waste of time. Two lads have been all over the place only recently.
Luckily, Fred's warning didn't discourage Terry. The two agreed to split everything that Terry found 50-50, though Fred didn't think it would amount to much. The day that Terry discovered the hoard began like any other detecting day. He drove onto the site, unpacked the detector and tools, and recited his lucky mantra.
Well, I usually say, spirits of yesteryears take me where the coins appear. But on this occasion, for why I did say it, I actually don't know. I said, spirits of yesteryears take me where the gold appears. And what it looks like is somebody was actually listening to me, because within about 30 minutes, I came across an object. It didn't look gold, it more piece of brass more than anything else. It was only it had a pin on it, and when I got my magnifying glass out to have a look at the pin, I could actually see that the pin had been foiled. There was all foil marks all on it. This is when I started to think myself, this ain't brass, might be a possibility of a piece of gold. Then I carried on, and within another quarter of an hour, I came across a pommel of a sword, and that's when things got really exciting. What I was seeing on the screen, I couldn't believe it. It was like if my machine couldn't cope with the signals. So I started digging them, and I was being rewarded by other pieces of gold. By this time, I was starting to wonder how much there is here. Some of the holes I dug, I was getting between 3 and 4 pieces out. I mean, a lot of the items was just broken up pieces of gold, and that was twisted, and that was unrecognisable, actually. What stands out the most is definitely the cross. It had been twisted all up, folded up actually, and the cross had actually got stones set in settings. Few of the stones was missing, but all the items had been placed inside the cross, then folded round the settings, so it kept them in place.
Experts think that the gold dates back to what has long been known as the Dark Ages.